Come on, pick up.
We're sorry, you seem to be out of service range. Would you like to buy an increased package?
Given where I am, sure.
Alright, please give us your credit card number for identity theft, please.
I don't think I have that with me right now. I'm surprised I have my phone, honestly.
Oh, then we're sorry. Goodbye.
You'd have figured there wouldn't be any good service over here.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of Digimon Ghost Game, Whispers of the Dead. For those of you who may not have seen our reviews before, we go very in-depth into these episodes. So if you're worried about spoilers, you may wish to leave now and come back when you have seen it and not so worried about such things. But let us dive right into episode 33. And, as always,
We start with the same narration, all the way back all the way to episode 2.
Yep.
That means that little is still happening in this series.
Mm-hmm. And this episode will continue that. So, we start with not the formula.
Yeah, we've actually break the formula a bit here.
Yeah, we've actually come away from that a little bit. And we see a familiar face. Someone showed up again that hasn't shown up in 15 plus episodes.
Quite a while, yeah.
Piccolamon, or Piximon, as you might know him.
Piccolomon, yeah.
And he's messing with Gamamon, his best friend.
His new best friend, though he's not acting much like a friend, it seems like.
No, he's not being very friendly. And they're in Kyosho's room and causing havoc, because apparently Piximon ate his champion. And he is not happy about it.
We've seen how Gamamon responds to that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He gets so mad he beats up Ultimate's the champion if he messes with his champion.
Yeah.
Link the episode up here.
As he's biting onto his wings and everything, and it's going nuts. Jellymon's like, shut up, and Kyosho's...
amazingly enough, actually here for once.
Yeah, she's actually around. And Kyosho's telling them to please be quiet, and finally just gets frustrated, turns around, and Piximon's got a pit bomb.
Bit bomb.
Pit bomb, again, whichever version you know is in his hands. And Kyosho, quick thinking at least, turns on the field.
Yep, so we get his dorm room field again, and it blows up. At this point, if we ever see the quasi-digital field in Kyosho's room and it doesn't blow up, I will be disappointed.
It's got to become a running gag at this point.
This is the third time it's happened.
Yep, the dragon episode, the first time we saw Tesla Jellymon, and now, yeah.
Don't know why it blows up in that episode. But...
No, not really. But yeah, and so we kind of cut to mostly black as Kyosho's like floating there because, well, he was in that blast. So
he ate an ultimate level of attack.
So yeah, that's probably not good for you. And he's like floating and rushing through this black scape with
void
yellow stripes like whisking by him like he's moving, going towards the light. Yeah. It's like,
stay away from the light.
It's like, oh boy.
Then he gets hit by a train. Oh no.
And she's in a field of flowers.
Yep, field of red, pink flowers. I've now seen enough Japanese stuff that I know what this symbolizes.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely around. It's something, but I don't...
Yeah, well, we'll explain what it is.
Mm-hmm. And then, suddenly, after that, he's in a gray version of his room.
Yeah, that's true, this is important. Yeah.
This is in a grayed out version of his room.
Yep.
Not blown up.
Not blown up again, yeah.
And he starts hearing this fairly high-pitched, somewhat childlike voice talking to him very creepily, and sounds like, oh look, a friend, your head goes splat, and all this just dark, very ominous kind of things. He's freaking out, backing up, and once again, he's showing he's completely scared again. There's no recovering from it.
And again, don't mind him being scared initially, he needs to recover from it.
And yeah, nothing has happened from that. But yeah, he backs up, we start seeing the hand reach out towards him, and suddenly everything changes, and we're back in his actual room, a Jellymon.
In the quasi-digital field, looking down at him unapprovingly.
And zap, you see the residual zapping of her. BB Thunder, most likely.
Gamamon poking his head in, you okay, Kyo?
Which, once again, this is showing that Digimon always need to be told to do their attacks, and yet they just keep now doing it on their own again.
Yeah, supposedly it's a thing they have to download to their partners in this series, but except when they don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not upset about Digimon using their own attacks. It's just another inconsistency of is it or is it not?
And this is why our reviews take 30 minutes.
Yes, because we had to talk because the show has so many of those, and so he's like, "Oh, I'm alive," and everything, and seems like everything's okay for the moment.
I mean, this happens fairly regularly in this show.
Yeah. So it seems we cut to later that day or something, or
and he's on his computer doing research on the black tunnel and the light in the flower field.
Yeah, going towards the light. All this, pretty common things that you hear about humans seeing before they die,
when they're on death's door and things like that. Yeah,
things like that, and it all seems to be pointing in that direction.
I mean, this flower field being on the edge of life and death seems something in Japanese lore. I don't know where it comes from, but I've seen it enough times that I associate it with that now.
And so,
and he says, "Oh my God, I almost just died." And Jellymon's like, "You're being overdramatic. Bye."
Yeah, Gamamon left earlier and Piximon.
Hero probably picked him up after his classes again.
So it's just Jellymon, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever, bye." Yeah, she's okay.
And we got her disappearing for long periods of time again.
Yeah.
But as she disappears, he hears that voice again. Mm-hmm. And this is where we get the smooshing your head open and things like that.
Yeah, even more of it. I mean, very clearly, wants to see him dead. But also is, just talk about friend as well.
His friend in there,
okay. Isn't the twisted love? Does it not understand what a friend is? What? More on that later.
Yes.
So after he keeps hearing the voice, he goes and sees.
He does a very logical thing.
Goes to see a medical professional. 2 of them, actually.
I guess an MRI scan, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. He goes to the human doctor. They don't seem to find anything wrong. So he goes to the other type of doctor that we actually remember a few times now is around.
Yes, he's actually playing
his mummy mom.
Decent number of appearances now.
Mm-hmm. And at first, he checks and I don't see any signs of the pit bomb, bit bomb. So that's not what it is. So I don't know what you're talking about. This doesn't seem like anything I know about. But here, I have something that could help you.
Yes.
He goes and picks up a prototype medicine off of the shelf. And it says, "I made this to try and calm Digimon in case we had another Morphomon experience."
Another callback.
Yes. These are things that it would make sense that he made something, and
so this is like a callback 3 episodes already. This is impressive for this series.
Like the first 5-7 minutes, we're still pretty early, and it's actually, this episode feels like more of a whole.
Like it's part of the world. The series, which
is better than many have done.
I mean, it seems like it should be faint praise for episode 33, but
it's the best we got, I'm sorry.
But it deserves it because it's so rare in the series. But he tells us more things about this medicine that, well, when he injects it with you, it puts you in a state near life and death. Mm-hmm. And also, to calm down excited Digimon, it also makes them more excited. So it sounds like this was pretty much a failure on Digimon's part.
Yeah, it didn't actually do what...
Which is fine, that's how science works.
Yeah, it does not do what he intended.
But it didn't have the way he puts it and how the effects are a little different. Yeah. And Kyosho, and he's like, why would I do that? Well, you could prove to people you're not lying. This is Kyosho. He doesn't lie. Yeah. This isn't Jellymon. Jellymon I might not believe. Kyosho I believe.
Yeah. It's all the dorm leader's fault. What? No. Yeah. Of all the people here, he's probably the most trustworthy person in the room.
Yeah, I trust Hiro, I trust him. I even trust really to a certain extent, but of the 3, she'd be the one I trust the least. Mm-hmm. Jellymon I wouldn't, trust any further than she'd float.
Yeah.
But regardless, Kyosho doesn't want to be put in a near life and death state and says no.
Yeah.
And we cut to him, actually, I guess, the job, more or less.
Yeah. Because he's here and they're asking, you're our IT consultant. Yeah. Well, what's your opinion on it? Yeah. And he's like, and he seems very tired. He's very out of sorts.
And he's been saying that he hasn't been able to sleep for days because the voice keeps haunting him, man.
Mm-hmm. And apparently people still won't believe him, I guess, because, again, why? I don't know.
I mean, even in this case, if you do believe him, what could you do?
True. So he starts walking down and mindlessly walks towards the bathroom, and there's cleaning in progress signs that he's just so...
Kind of, it's so out of it, he kind of misses.
And then you hear the voice again, you know. You'll fall down, go
slip,
splash,
yeah.
slip. Yeah.
Slip, splash.
And he trips and nearly hits his head, but he catches himself.
Does have a urinal.
And catches himself at the last moment, yes.
I mean, who'd get beat up by a urinal?
I never did that. You can't prove anything. And yeah,
Link the video?
No, there's no video. This was before cell phones were everywhere. I was 8. Maybe a little older. Not much. But anyway. After my embarrassing stories, let's embarrass Kyo some more.
Yeah.
So he realizes, wow, the voice said it and it happened. So now things have escalated.
Yeah.
Things have stepped up. And so we see him walking down the street. And
overhead there's a digital electrical sign.
Yeah.
And we see the familiar rings around it. Which, means we're dealing with
Digimon interference. Yeah.
No surprise here, ultimately, but now there's no doubt.
Yeah. And it shatters the sign as he goes under, and he has to dive out of the way. And he's so freaked out that he then turns around and runs out straight into the street, nearly gets run over by someone on a scooter.
Yep.
And so, yeah, he's very just completely freaked out, and seems like he called for help.
Yeah.
Because later we see him sitting there curled up kind of into a ball, and Jellybun's there. So she's actually around more than most episodes.
Yeah. And it sounds like what he's been relaying what voices say to him, the hero who instead is texting them to Ruli, who's with Mummymon
and then Goramon,
and sharing this information.
Yeah, it seems like Mummimon's in Ruli's house, which, I mean, is fine. Just
could be.
I don't know. I'm not sure where they are, but... But yeah, and so they start looking over the messages, and he's like, oh, yeah, this sounds like dead Digimon.
Spirits of the dead, yeah. More specifically, dead Digimon. Because it sounds like some Digimon who've been, they say deleted before their time, killed? I forgot what the exact translation was.
Have unfinished business, kind of the usual kind of ghost that...
So I'm thinking, okay, so here's a chance where we can learn more about Digimon lore. Because normally when they die, they go back to Digitama. I mean, we even saw Black Agumon with a Digitama before.
Yeah, in episode 13.
So how fast does this happen? What happens to your data during this point before it gets reconfigured and shuffled?
Mm-hmm.
This would be a great episode to show things, something like that. Or if you're killed, I would say if you're killed premature, like we're saying, do you not get reincarnated? But then again, we saw Black Agumon with Digi-Egg, which is probably Pokemon. So again, this would be a great time to explain all that.
Nope. Though he does point out that there's one of the messages that he's never heard before, cross the river. So there is something different about this.
So at this point, I was thinking, possibly deleted Digimon that would have a grudge. Which ones? I mean, one, there's not been that many deleted Digimon in this series. Two, which one would have a problem with Kyoshiro?
With Kyo? Oh, yeah. I was going to say Dracomon, but he didn't have a problem with
Kyoshiro in particular, yeah. He's probably at least... One could be from the Twisted Love episode, that one because he thought he got between him and
Ajitaramon.
Yoto. And also I'm thinking, well, we're talking about a Digimon who was studying evolution and died. This could be Arukenimon. Could she do a Death X evolution? That would be really cool. We get to see that in anime.
No. Thinking too much. So they try to get to the station to go back home, and something seems to be messing even with the signals to let them get home, so it's taking forever. And they finally are walking down a fairly deserted street. It's pretty late at night.
For Japan standards, very deserted.
Mm-hmm. And Ruli calls up Hiro to let him know what they found out, that they think this is of the dead. Kyo might actually be in danger, which, I mean, I think they kind of already established that, but...
Well, you would think the things I'm nearly crushing them
would indicate this. And as they're talking, we see the possessing circles again on a car. And it starts up on its own. It even says auto drive.
Yeah.
Which, if this is the auto drive of cars, we got a long way to go before they're ready to be out there en masse. But yeah, so we hear the car start up and start screeching forward. We see Kyo turn around and...
cuts to black and we hear a
thud. And we see Kyo once again in the black landscape
and the flowers and back to the great owl.
And back to that road, where it was hit. And right before the break, we see who the Digimon is some monkey Digimon, some Monmon.
Yeah, we've seen feet, monkey feet. Monmon of all things?
No, Hanuman? No, we just did that one. Oh, okay. Yeah, this armored Digivolve. He was in World 3 and stuff. They needed to tell me his name. Yeah, well, I looked it up as soon as I saw him, but
I figured they would tell me. I didn't have to look it up immediately.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Sepicmon,
yes.
Fairly close. And that's where we cut to commercial. Yep, so Kyo's dead.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet you he'll be dead by the end of this episode. Yep. Maybe not.
Of course not. This is Ghost Game, of course not.
And so, as we come back and he's talking to Kyo, he is shocked that it's a Digimon. I thought we were past this point, guys.
I mean, to be fair, he is in a pretty unusual situation.
Of all the times, this isn't so.
I'll give him a little bit of a break here, but seriously, of course, that's a Digimon.
Yeah.
Now, what's the Digimon doing in this land between life and death? That's a very good question. And the answer is, I have no idea.
Yeah. And so, yeah. He starts saying, friend, don't leave me again this time. You'll stay here with me this time. And while they're starting to talk, we see what's happening in the real world as he is being helped into an ambulance.
On a gurney,
he's unconscious, and since Hiro's a friend with him, he's allowed to go with him to the hospital.
Give him some information on his doctor.
Yeah.
To send him to. And we get to the hospital at some point, and they're pushing him along. One of the people working there is, and look up for something in a second, and she pulls down her mask, and it's Metsumon, and says, "Shut up, come and follow me."
Yeah. What are you doing here? Well, Clockmon told me to. I didn't even want to.
What a pain. Here goes Clockmon told me to. Follow me.
Yep.
So, another callback. Nice.
Just to the previous episode, yeah.
Even another one, so yeah.
And I guess once you've seen through Betsumon's disguise, you can every time now, because they just know it's him this time.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's willing to show him, I don't know, but they did such a poor job establishing the rules last episode.
Yeah. I'm not going to blame this author, this writer.
But again, it's kind of nicer, because this is how they have their Digimon Medical Center here. They have Mummymon as actual doctor, and they have this scam going down here to get him up to there and keep it hush-hush. So we got this whole fraud thing going down pat. Really nice.
Yeah.
Some people are excited. Some poor intern's going to be fired when they can't find out where all this stuff's going, though, but we won't talk about that.
And as they're starting to... and this is where we do learn that Sepikmon is telling Kyoshiro, come on, just cross the river. And
he opens up a
portal
from this world
to the River Styx, which is literally just a big river.
Yeah, it's not how I've ever pictured the River Styx or any of its descriptions in the past.
No, and there's no boatmen or any of the things that usually you sometimes hear.
And Kyoshiro doesn't want to cross the River Styx and books it.
Runs.
And I don't blame him here.
Yeah. But he's like, no, you won't get his escape this time.
And at some point along here, we learned that Kyo's injury was not getting creamed by a car, just dodging out of the way and hitting his head on this curb.
Yes. Which is probably better.
It's the only better thing to suffer from. But Mamamon's like, well, he's really not that bad off.
It's just a bump on his head. I can't find...
all his vitals are stable and all that, but it's like he lost his soul.
Yeah.
And so Jellymon doesn't like this, jumps on there and zaps him. Just like before when he lost his soul, but it doesn't work this time. Why? The answer is, I don't know.
because Sepikmon's
not
revealed
grabbing
himself.
him at this point. Yeah,
revealed himself. Something about that. That's the only thing I got. Because I
mean
it's not
he
explained.
was inches away from him before when he woke up. So
yeah. But
because the plot says so.
Yeah. While they're trying to figure out what to do, and they have a sad moment of, "Oh, senpai, we're gonna lose you," and we're all sitting here in the audience like, "Yep,
he's so dead.
He's dead and gone. Yep, that's for sure." So he's hiding. Sepikmon is doing the creepy, walking around trying to find him. Are you here? Are you over here?
Yeah, and at one point he says, "Go ahead. It's not scary." Crossing the river's not scary.
Yeah. And eventually does peek around the corner, find him, and
runs away again. They chase each other for a while. Eventually gets away again, and he gets the idea to go to a grayed out store.
Well, because he's trying to use his phone and it's not working.
Yes, this is better.
But he sees that his Digivice, his vital bracelet, is still functioning. So he goes to some hardware, gas station, whatever kind of small store, and there's no people here.
Yeah.
So he just grabs.
There's no line.
So he grabs a Type B to C, whatever, USB connector, and figures out that if he connects them together, he can get power
and charge his phone.
To his phone.
Now, at this point, realizing that your Digivice is on and working, and what we learned in the Piximon episode is, even in a different dimension and time, you call out to your partner, your Digivice will answer and rip a hole
in space and time
to get you together. But he doesn't decide. He decides, no, I'm going to charge my phone and try to call them. And even more amazingly, it works. I whatever carrier he's on, I want his carrier.
Yeah,
they are amazing.
That's real nice. That's what 7G will do. Is that what they're? I think that's what they're in this. Right? I think they're on 7G. That's what that can do.
But that's a heck of an upgrade.
Yeah. And he's able to call Hiro, even though Kyo's phone's sitting over there.
Yeah, so
they're not
undead phone is calling them.
So they're not sure to answer it, but Jellymon's just like, answer already!
Answer, you fools! Yeah.
And he's, screaming like, come get me, help me, where are you? I don't know, somewhere between life and death, I don't know.
You know the thing I've been telling you all episode? Yeah, that!
Yeah, it's really happened.
So really we learned nothing from this phone call.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
I guess the one thing it does is it starts in Goremon's mind know that it's Septikmon.
Yeah, Sepikmon. Yes, both Mummymon and him figure it out. And
why they didn't figure this out the rest of the episode?
No. But yeah, it's a Digimon who lives deep in the jungles of the digital world, and its only friends can be the souls of the dead. Okay, how is it? Why is it here?
Why is a dumb deep jungle Digimon in the land between life and death, on the borders of the river Styx?
Yeah. I mean, because it works with souls, there are weirder places.
This Digimon works for what they're going for here. Still don't know why he's here there specifically.
And why he wouldn't... he never seems to cross over into the real world at this point.
And at this point, during the phone call, the boomerangs are close enough, he gets knocked down. The monkey grabs him and starts dragging him back through the portal.
Yep. And he's kicking and screaming. He's still, definitely does not want to die.
Not ready to die yet, no.
And go there, and so... This call kicks the other guys into gear, at least.
They finally decide to do something, yeah.
Yeah. And Mummymon's, we have no choice. We can use my experimental medicine.
Yep.
That should be able to put you there. And Hero's like, yeah, all right. And,
I'll do it.
But Jellymon puts a hand. Says, no, that's made for Digimon.
And two, what would you do, Hero?
Yeah. Just him, yeah. No, this is my darling. I'll go get him.
And Jellymon steps up to them.
And
it's a nice little moment.
Yeah, because as much flack as she gives Kyo, there is definitely caring there.
She does care for him, and when it's all said and done, absolutely.
She doesn't have the best ways of showing it at times, but she does. Whenever it really comes down to it, she will. And so she lies down, ready to take it, and we go through the same...
Put you in the state, and for some odd reason, it'll make you excited.
Yep. So we go through the black scade field of flowers, and then quickly into the same room,
the hospital room,
just in the other world, and she's like, woo, and doing flips, because...
Yeah, so like, all this energy!
Yeah, all the...
Doing flips, and she takes off.
Busts through the wall.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't even phase her, it just blows a hole through the...
Yeah, because usually Jellymon of all people phases. But no, she does not care at that point and just...
And she's able to find them no problem.
Yep, gets right to
I guess because there's nothing else nothing other to distract you for, and I guess it is a pretty big hole portal in the middle of the place.
Well, I mean...
Kyo's making a bit of a noise, you probably hear him.
Yeah.
Anywhere close by.
And she probably knew roughly where... Well, even if she knew roughly where he got hit by the car, he ran around a bunch, so he wouldn't have actually...
She finds
that close. He finds her, yeah.
How?
Yeah, she finds her.
This is not my biggest suspension of disbelief this episode.
No.
To say the least.
And so she punches him away, and he's like, no one called you here. Yeah. What are you doing? He's my friend.
Yeah, my first human friend.
It's Gilshira.
As soon as we cross the river, he can be my friend.
And she's like, no, darling is all mine. And she digivolves, and... Alright, so finally we get, something going on this episode, but she's, energized and powered up and just, I guess, hits him once. And,
yeah, beats him pretty easily. Yeah. Not the quickest fight we've seen, but it's
pretty darn close.
Pretty, yeah, it's real quick.
Mm-hmm. And then she just wraps up Kyo in one tentacle, I guess they still
tentacle ribbon thing.
More ribbons, yeah. Grabs Pigmon another and says, "Let's go home."
And they're home.
And suddenly, they're back in the room.
How they're back home? I don't know. I mean, the Throne could wake up, she wakes up, but how could Kyo get his soul back in his body and there when he needed to be shocked awake before?
Yeah.
They're there.
They're there, yeah. And so she wakes up, and shortly after, Kyo wakes up. Like, oh, hi, Kyo, where you been? This is Gamamon, just like... And suddenly, Ruli gives out a small shriek.
Yeah, quick little squeak.
And then it's so cute! And we look over, and Goramon is holding Sepikmon.
Yeah. So apparently he dragged him back somehow, too.
I mean, she said he brought him back because she wants to...
Punish him.
Yeah.
But it's like, in this world, isn't this Digimon like the boatman or something? Would he just screw things up so bad by dragging him out of there? I mean, it won't because I know the show, but boy, would that be interesting.
Yeah. Digimon can't flow naturally and be reborn because you messed with this.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a heck of a plot arc. Yeah. It won't happen.
No.
Because it's a ghost game.
Yeah, no.
And they sit down and tell him, you've been a bad monkey. You can't kill people just to be their friend.
Yeah. And so, but a Digimon deep in the jungle, he's not fit for a city. And Hero's like, oh, I know where to put him.
And here, they put him here. Do you know where, anybody in the comments know where this is? Because I have no clue.
Yeah, I figured this would be like near Yaokomon Shrine, or the deep jungle, try to throw him near where, Morishelmon and Jurimon was, but this does not look like...
I don't think we've seen this season. Yeah. Is this just so obvious in Japanese culture that they didn't think they need to explain it? It's just my limited United States knowledge. It doesn't know where this is.
Yeah, because there's dead spirits there.
Yeah, the spirits that only showed up there around the River Styx.
Yeah, which...
Now he's chasing them around. So do we have dead spirits in the human world now?
Yeah, are they human or Digimon?
Or Digimon spirit? Yeah.
I don't even know.
This needs someone's explanation, and all we get is Angoramon's poem over it.
Yeah, and he even gets his own little corner of the screen now to stand in so he can see him while he talks. Even though he does nothing, because he's Angoramon.
Yeah, he's not
real animated.
No. And that's it.
And that's the episode.
Again, there's things to like about this one. It calls back a lot of other episodes. Feels like it's a bigger world series.
That's the biggest thing to me, is it at least feels like it belongs in this world of all the what we've done. Because we're 33 episodes in. There should be stuff you can put in and build on. They won't, but
again, even an episode it calls back on, it doesn't use the mechanic introduced in that episode. Yeah. Despite making perfect sense here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the portal.
Yeah. Call out to your portal, the device will rip portals for them to come help you.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we don't use that.
But we do get something new in the outro.
Yeah, we get Hero Study Files.
Which, now, the graphic that normally would show up during the episode of Sepikmon
usually
is now at the end.
And they make a joke afterwards, but the joke has nothing to do with him.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the end of Adventure 2020, where a lot of
Cross Wars had it, 2020 had it. This is not uncommon. The thing is, why start at 33 episodes in?
Yeah.
And two, again, this is the horror season. These bad jokes at the end do not fit the theme of this season.
Yeah, you're trying to bounce between the two, and it just doesn't.
Because the times this episode actually was creepy.
Yeah.
More so than a lot of more recent ones have been. This one was a little creepy at times.
Certainly.
So I don't know what I guess they're just trying to eat up more time so they don't have to come up with
more show. Yeah.
Lack of plot.
So that's episode 33. So let's look briefly into episode 34, what the preview gave us. Wall crawlers.
Keep Spider-Man out of this. He's suffered enough recently.
They said lizards, not spiders.
Okay, good.
Because, yeah, it's like there's a creature lurking on your ceiling. And it's got, like, buggy eyes and a forked tongue. What if that creature looked familiar? What if it was your closest friend? And we see the human.
What if it was a family member?
A family member, yeah.
Now, think about this makes you wonder, are we actually going to see somebody's family?
Well, I mean, we've seen Hero's dad.
We've seen him, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's not one of these.
And we saw the bottom half of Hero's mom.
Yeah.
In the picture. Because it was purposely burned there in episode 1. Please tell me there's at least something with that.
Oh, please. This is Digimon Ghost Game.
I know. Let me dream.
Don't crush my hopes.
Hopes and dreams, man. The comments do that enough already. And so, yeah, it looks like Salamandramon or something very similar to that.
Or subspecies of that, yeah.
There's many Digimon that look somewhat like that. But if it is, again, it's an armor level Digimon, which is usually roughly a champion. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem. Maybe there's a lot of them, but then they beat up a whole bunch of Ultimates. Previous episode, no problem. So, nothing to really get you go, oh wow, I really want to go see that episode.
Must see this episode, yeah.
No, nothing like that. So, yeah, I think that wraps us up for this episode.
Yep.
Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Digimon content from us. And as always, everyone, remember to be awesome. Till the next one, take care. Bye-bye.